In a world where there are so many opinions about whether you should buy real estate, should you rent real estate, should you invest in the stock market, should you get rental property, all of the different questions that you have swirling around in our minds. Tonight we want to unpack some of that stuff. Every Sunday at 7:30 usually. We're a little late today, but we like to come on and talk to you about our experiences, real world, real life experiences in the real estate investing business with over 50 years of combined experience with myself and Dan Borrero. How you doing, buddy?
How you doing, brother?
Man, I'm on top of the world, bro. I got you on the line. I mean, what else? What else could I ask for, brother?
Mhm.
So I will be in New York, y'all. I'm coming to New York in 5 days. Let me do this. Put the line up here. I want to hear from y'all. Let me hear from y'all. I'm coming to New York in 5 days. I'm going to be hanging out with my friend, my mentor, my trusted colleague, my trusted advisor, Dan Borrero. And we are going to be having a free meetup with a specific group of people. Dan, tell them who's coming to this thing.
So we're going to be having a meetup with all the members that attended the Ultimate Landlord Survival Guide, who are now Ultimate Landlord Warriors. They've graduated, and also the people that are on the Mentorship Unleashed for Dan Pereiro for my mentoring class. So all that will be on the 19th. We're expecting a substantial amount of people there. The reality is, it's a free meetup. It's going to be in Red Hook, Brooklyn. That address and time is we've already sent it out.
Yeah,
So
don't say that here. Don't say
we
that here.
can't say that here. So if you guys want to join us, Chris, you have the link for the mentorship for the ultimate mentorship
I
unleash.
never got it. Never got it.
We sent it to you, but for those of you that are interested,
You did?
go to
The
Dan.
link I have right now in the video description is for the waiting list for the ultimate landlord. Do I need to? Let me
Yeah,
see.
no, you could. Well, the thing is this, guys, for the class we did, we had 48 people. This time we're going to make it a little less. Um, so get on the waiting list for that, because the reality is that if you truly want to be a landlord, this is the class that you need. This is like this is going to be a that's a mentorship class on steroids. It's a 4 week class, twice a day, twice a week rather.
I'm so excited, man. The energy was just palpable.
Oh
As the
yeah,
people.
everybody there was like,
And then the stories, Dan. The stories. And then with the mastermind, I know the other day the lady had a ad she's running, and ad fatigue happens. You got to take it off, put it back on, and then just the stories with the tenants. It's crazy out here.
yeah. So if you don't want to get destroyed by your tenants, if you don't want to be managed by your tenants, and you want to manage your tenants, you need to become an ultimate landlord warrior. So the links below.
Yep.
Uh, Sign up for that waiting list. And we'll be Chris and I are actually the people that call you. You're
Yeah,
not getting
let's
from
talk
us.
about that. Where we get Cesar Pena and all these people. I'm not here to throw stones at anybody. I just want to. I was listening to my friend. What is his name? Real estate guru. What's the guy's name? The guy with the hair. Talks about how Jay took $11 million from it's all of our communities because it's the online. I consider us all in this one little sandbox. When they take that $11 million out, that's $11 million less than guys like us. That's why, Dan, I love the fact that you don't show a lavish lifestyle. I think that's what it really attracts me to you.
I appreciate that. And likewise, we both because we have the same mentality, both you and I both.
So it's the gurus. It's kind of like, Dan, both of us, like, just tell me about the work. I don't want to hear nothing about what you're gonna do with the money right now. Yes, I want to do nice things, but I'm like, let's talk about the work it's going to take to get where we want to be. That's all I want to talk about.
So it's kind of funny, man. One of the things a lot of these guys have in common that are out here swindling people, if you think about it, what's that guy's name from Atlanta? He built what he called the Black House.
That's Jay Morrison. That's what I
Jay
was saying
Morrison.
earlier.
Okay, so it's Jay Morrison.
He's $11 million guy.
And what's the other guy? Jose Pena. I think he just got
Caesar
indicted. Getting
Pena.
indicted.
Yeah,
He's
Caesar
Pena.
Pena. I don't know big business. I don't know too much about the guys. I've seen posts of people. He owes money to people. I don't know.
Yeah, I can't say anything bad or good about him because I don't know.
Yeah,
But when you getting indicted by the feds,
yeah.
there's something that, there's smoke. Where there's smoke, there's fire.
Mhm.
They usually don't go after you until they have like a shitload of stuff. Not to say they don't screw up sometimes, but it's very, very rare. Um, so, but it's, again, the common denominator between Jay Morris and Pena. You know what it is?
Showing lifestyle,
Besides lifestyle,
promises.
besides that is the prison records.
Oh, they both have prison records.
Hmm.
Mm. I'm not saying that a prison record, a guy can't come out and turn around though.
No, I know there's a person in New York. My hat's off to him. I don't. I think he did 5 or 7 years. I won't say his name on here, but man, before he took the time that he was inside to educate himself, and he, I mean, he has developed an incredible business, but he's not asking anybody for their money.
Mm.
He's doing the work, and he's getting the hard money loans, and then doing the refinancing after the property is done. Some of it he's fixing and flipping. He's there. He's doing the work. He's negotiating the deals, but he's not asking anybody to put in their money.
That's a big difference.
There's a major difference.
It's weird how when you really don't ask for it, it shows up. But when you see people always trying, and even Jay, I heard him say he needed to do another round of funding. Dan, he did like a town, town call, townhouse.
What's amazing is that people still give it. Look, Chris, what do we always say? Like, we'll teach you. We teach us how to do this, guys.
Not pretty.
You go to Kris Haskins' YouTube channel. Everything you need to know is there. You come to my free mentorship class every single Wednesday. But the one thing that you'll never see Kris Haskins or myself do is say, "Give me your money. I could do better than you can."
Mm.
Or let me show you my big house and the Ferrari I'm driving, or the chain I'm wearing, or the watch I'm wearing. Because you could live. This is the lifestyle you could live. We're never gonna show you that.
I just don't have the time, and frankly, I don't even like it, Dan. I don't even that. You know, it's weird. That type of content attracts a certain person, and I don't want that guy following me.
No,
I'm like, look, go follow those guys.
there is no shortcuts to becoming wealthy. We can show you how to do it, but you got to do the work.
Y'all put your name in the chat, please. Let us know at least where you are, what your name, and where you're coming in from. Dan, I was looking at Zillow. Y'all know I'm always looking at. Well, let me share my screen. We all know it's past Dan's bedtime, y'all, so we'll let him get out of here real quick. Zillow says home buyers need to earn at least $17,000 more to afford mortgage payments on the average U.S. home. This is just a $360,000 home. They would need to make it at least $100,000 a year, and they'd have to have $73,000 saved up for a down payment. Dan, could you just talk about what your thoughts on that?
Look, the reality is that I remember when I graduated from college, rule of thumb was I needed to make my rent in 1 week.
Break that down a little bit. What do you mean make your rent in
So
1
let's
week?
say my rent was $300 a month. The rule of thumb was you should be earning at least $300 a week.
For the first week. Okay. So not like you should not, it shouldn't take you 2 weeks to pay whatever you're living.
Right. Now it's like 2 weeks.
2.
Yeah. I mean, assuming you're living in New York City, and sometimes 2.5 weeks. That doesn't leave you much room for, I might as well's, or, you know, if something comes up. It doesn't leave you much room, people. So the question becomes is, I remember I was bitching to my dad one time. I was having difficulties. The market, the business was slow. It was a terrible time. And he looked at me and he says, "You know what?" He says, "You need more money?" I said, "Yeah." He goes, "Go work harder."
Mm.
You need more money? Go work harder.
Dude.
I hear I was at yesterday. We had a family. We had my wife's family over, and one of her nieces was discussing, well, saying how difficult it is and how expensive the houses have gone up, and
Toronto?
Excuse me?
In Toronto? Where was this at?
This was in my house
I
yesterday.
mean, what were they talking about?
She was talking about how difficult things are and how expensive things have gotten, and she's talking
In general.
and this
Okay.
is why she doesn't have her own house yet. And rather, so I says, well, you live in a condo, right? She goes, yeah, do you like it there? She says, oh, I love it. I says, why don't you buy a condo in the same building? And she says, well, because I want a house. I said, well, first of all, I says, you're a teacher too, ain't you? She says, of course you know that I'm a teacher.
Yeah.
So I said, I says, have you worked this summer? She says, well, it's my time off. I says, okay. I says, so you want something you can't afford. You want something you're unwilling to work harder for. And you have the summer off, but you're not taking those 2.5 months to either educate yourself or to go get another job.
That would be all profit, Dan.
Exactly.
When money comes in that I know don't expect to make, I put all of it to principal. I don't even consider it to be income.
Exactly.
That would be perfect for her. At least for 2 months, you could just do 2 months and take all the money.
So I said, well, whose fault is it? Is it the system's fault? Is it the president's fault? Is it society's fault?
Wow.
Or is it like your fault? Like you want something you can't afford.
Ain't my fault.
You don't want to work any harder. Can't help you.
Can't have it both, huh?
Can't help you.
Wow, that's deep. Well, Dan, as I was just thinking tonight about what I had to talk about, some of it is the powers that be and are destroying our dollar. I'm not going to sit back and say that it's easy as it was. I got to tell you, I bought houses for $20,000-$30,000. Them shits is worth $250,000 now, right? So I will agree to that. I don't, Dan, and I want to. Well, let me ask you: do you agree to that as well?
I think in some areas of the country, the prices have gotten so ridiculously that it makes it unaffordable. However, that doesn't mean you use that as an excuse and say, "Oh, I can never get one because it's so unaffordable." Get up off your ass and do something about it.
Excuse. Caller, you're on the line with Chris and Dan. State your name and where you're calling from.
Hey, what's up, Chris and Dan? This is Ernesto from North Dakota.
How are you, Ernesto? Oh, another landlord warrior. How are you, brother?
I'm doing good. So you guys opened up, and I
said North Dakota. Dokota. That's spell that right?
You're asking me, bro.
D-A.
You're asking the dyslexic.
D-A-K-O-T-A.
Ernesto, ultimate landlord warrior in the building. What up, homie?
What up, man? So I just wanted to let you guys know that for everybody that's listening for the first time that, this just takes time, I started back in November, and I'm doing my first deal right now. And it wouldn't have been possible without you guys. And it all comes together at one point in time, where you take these classes. I took your ultimate landlord class. I took the contracting class. And
so
it's painful because you're like, man, it's painful because you get trained, but you're like, shit, I don't have a deal to fall on, right? But then my first deal came through, and I was like, okay, now I'm not as worried about it. I just got to find the right tenant to make sure that I'm not going to put myself in a predicament to where I'm losing my shirt starting out, So that's the first thing, because I think it was last week some guy was on here was like, hey, I got, $30,000. What do I do? And like you guys said, you're not the type to sit there and say, hey, give me your money. And then I'll make money with your money, It's, hey, learn how to do this shit. That way you know what you're doing and you know how to avoid the traps in this game, because all it takes is one trap for you to fail, and that's it.
Right. A lot at stake. I'm so glad you said that, man. A lot of these dudes are just looking. It's weird, guys. I want to ask Dan. Dan, I'm always like, look, I don't want your money. I'm like, I don't want it. Like, let's show you how to do it, so you don't be looking at me when stuff go. Are you like that too, Dan?
Oh yeah, I get people all the time. Actually, yesterday another family member was asking me, "Yo, if I gave you $100,000, what could you do for me?" I says, "Don't give it to me. Number one, and number two, go invest your own $100,000. Why are you asking me to do it? You obviously did something right. You got $100,000.
That's true.
You know how to save it. Now you learned how to save it. Now you need to learn how to invest it. Come to my mentorship class and learn how to do it. Ernesto, Ernesto said something really profound. He said basically what he was saying was he's educated himself.
Mhm.
And lessen, I assume it's lessened the fear of taking that step towards your first property. Is that wrong? Am I correct, Ernesto?
100%. So I'll give you an example, not to give the class away, but I did your contracting class, right? And there was just so much that was done in that entire day. And so when I was calling these guys to get quotes, one of the things that you showed me and that you explained was like, hey, these guys come up, don't expect them to be all suit and tie, expect them to come and paint, If they're trying to do work, they're going to come like they've been at work, right, all day. So this one cat comes to my place and he was like, yeah, I'll go ahead and I wanted him to quote me for painting the place because I was just exhausted. And he came and he looked like he was ready to work, but he had no pen, no paper, no pad, taking notes or nothing. And then he hit me with a number and I was like, well, how the hell did you come up with that number if you're not even taking notes on what you're going to do for me? Like you just pulled that number out of the sky thinking that it was going to stick and I was going to do it,
He might have thought you was a sucker.
So those are the red flags that you learn through your classes saying, hey, look, if this guy's coming to show up ready to work, but he's not taking notes to see what kind of work he's going to do, one, either that work is not going to get done to scope, or two, you're going to be spending money and then he's going to hit you, hey, I need more money because now I'm doing more work, when it should have been addressed in that first introduction,
We've got a saying, if you stay in your head, you're dead. Get it out
exactly.
of your head.
So again, for those that are listening and joining, it's not bullshit. It takes time. Like I said, I've been doing it since November, and the amount of time and resources you put into it, it's going to come back eventually. You just gotta be patient with it. So just
let me ask you this, Ernesto. When you were negotiating the deal, did any of our classes also help you with the negotiations?
For the property itself?
Yes.
So the property that I'm putting on is my old house.
Yeah, he put his
to get my new house, 100%. So I used your negotiating tactics. So I bought my current house. It was listed at $465, and I got him all the way down to $435, just based off of taking your class. So having that knowledge and background in your class and saying, hey, look, this is what you can negotiate. This is what you're looking for when you go into these properties. So I use that for my personal house. But as far as actually listing this one, again, 100% from the Ultimate Warrior Landlord, using those tactics to list this one too. So
I'm so happy. I love hearing this stuff. He didn't get you. He was gonna get you, dog. What do you mean? I didn't get a quote. You didn't write down how much trim, what is a linear feet, how many square foot each bedroom.
Yeah, he didn't have nothing.
Got to measure the bedroom, so you know. Ernesto,
but,
thanks for dropping it.
You got to look out for it. So if you don't know it, then you don't know it. And then somebody, like I said, you'll give them $2,000, and then they'll hit you another week, 2 weeks from now, say, hey, I ran out of money. I need more money to finish the work.
Just ghost you. But thanks for chiming in, Ernesto, man. Good to hear from you, buddy.
Ernesto, brother, thank you so much.
All right. That's good to hear. Thank you. Man. I love hearing that, Dan. That dude thought he was a sucker, like he thought, like I was years ago. How much for? $500.
Yeah. There's somebody saying salute, watching from Toronto. My pops was from Brownsville. Great that you're giving keys. I appreciate that.
You're welcome. Yep, we got Dan. We got Grumpy Dan on here tonight, y'all.
Dan. Tonight I'm just tired, Dan. And guys, it's kind of funny. I'm tired and I didn't do shit. Excuse my language. I didn't do anything today.
What you mean?
Man, I just cleaned up around the house because we had company over last year. A lot of people here yesterday. So I just went to the yard, cleaned up. I told you earlier, man, I laid on we have some really nice lounge chairs outside. And I laid on there and I was out cold for like 4 hours. This is the best sleep I've had in years.
I know sometimes you just be disappearing, you be so sleepy.
It's just like sitting out there with the fresh air is unbelievable.
Yeah, you can't beat that fresh air. All right, what's up, Art? Good Baltimore, man. That housing market will And Baltimore wall. So Dan, I got 4 vacancies. No, I'm sorry, I take that back. I got 4 tenants didn't pay this month. I'm shocked. This has not happened to me. Like, this doesn't happen to me, Dan. Are you noticing something at this time of the year for you too? My people are usually, this is the first time I will have to say, y'all, I want to make sure we make this clear. This is the first time in probably 4 or 5 years that I've had 4 people not pay rent this
So
month.
what's today's date? What is today's date? I don't even know.
Today's the 13th.
Today's the 13th. How have you reached out to them?
We'll
Let's
talk
take the
about
call and let's talk about that.
Caller, you're on the line with Dan and Chris. State your name and where you're calling from, please.
Hi, it's Tim Whaler from Ronnieville, Kentucky.
Tim from KY. What up, Tim?
Hey, how you guys doing?
Man, we got you on the line. We good, bro.
Oh yeah. I got 2 quick questions. First question's about a slow flip. So after you get your down payment, how much profit are you looking to make off the mortgage per month?
So for me,
Do you have a dollar amount?
yeah, for me, man, I'm trying to get like I might do 400, but I'm looking to 500 to 600, brother. I just don't have
Okay.
I don't have the taste for small cash flow anymore, man. I did that for the first half of my career. It wasn't cool. It wasn't.
It all depends. For me, it all depends.
He's doing a slow flip though, Dan. He's just a bank. He's not the landlord.
So what is he doing? He's doing a what?
A contract for deed.
Yes. Lease option.
Lease option.
That's
Contract.
the best person to ask that question would be Kris Haskins, because that's a different animal.
Yeah. So Dan is doing repairs. He's got something totally different. Tim, 10 seconds. Tell the people what the strategy is if you could define what you're doing so people will understand.
Okay. So correct me if I'm wrong, because I'm trying to follow your strategy. I'm looking at a lease option. Minimum is 3 years, maximum 5. You activate the purchase of the house after the 3 years. If you don't activate within 5 years, either we're going to move on or we can do another contract, and I'm looking for another down payment.
You can sit in there. Okay. Well, it depends. If your cash flow, if you're good on cash flow in your life, you could take a smaller. You could take a smaller monthly cash flow from the real estate. But if your cash flow is not strong in your life, then you need to make sure that lease option has a bigger cash flow.
Okay, got it. Yeah, that's what I'm just looking to do. I'm trying to buy some more. Looking for some fixer-uppers. It's kind of hard to do down here in Kentucky right now because the prices are outrageous. I am in Ronnieville, Kentucky. I'm in the central Kentucky region.
Okay. Well, don't forget, man, I got to tell you, if I have permission to coach you about a hard market.
Okay.
Dan Borrero, Tim, is in a hard market.
Okay.
So when I hear, I'm not disagreeing or challenging you that you're in a hard market, but when I go to New York this Thursday and I hang out with Dan, that is a hard $3,000-$4,000 rents is a hard market.
Right.
So when I don't know what you're talking about a rental property in his area, 1.3 million people still buying. Right. We got a client together. Lady just qualified for a NACA loan that's buying an investment property. So what's your price range down there in KY?
Right now we're looking anywhere from $850 all the way up to about $2,500 a month.
I'm talking about what's the acquisition number you're talking about? 300,000, 400,000?
Okay, so the acquisition numbers right now is on the high end, like you were stating earlier, where you was able to buy properties for $30,000, $40,000. These properties are now going for $150,000 to $200,000, and you still got to do repair.
Mm-hmm.
So Tim, give me an example.
Yes,
so you buy it at 150, and how much work you have to put into it?
Okay, so we looked at a house the other day. I will give you this example here. We looked at a house the other day. They wanted $55,000,
It was completely gutted. Everything was taken away, but they did some renovations that were not on the record. I had to redo the foundation, all that stuff. It was going to be anywhere from about $50,000 to $70,000, and then the comps only came up to about 170 in that area for that type of house.
Okay, so Tim.
Yes, sir.
You're going to buy for 50. You're going to put 70 into it. You're going to be into the property for 120, but the comp will come back at 170. So you're literally at 50,000 below the comps. That right? Is that what you're telling me?
Yeah, that'll be gross. That's not counting realtor fees and taxes.
Okay. So let's say with closing costs and everything, you're at 30. I'm gonna be very conservative. 30,000 below, right?
Okay. Right.
Is that correct?
Yes,
so
sir.
You're coming in with about 18% equity after your renovation value. So now this is the way I would look at it. If I could cash flow that property, right? Give me 1 second. Let me do this numbers. If I could cash flow that property at 8%, at an 8% cash flow, why wouldn't you do it?
Depending on his
That's a
finances,
good
Dan.
question.
Because this is the deal, Tim. You now have a brand new house that you renovated, that you know you don't have to do any major work for the next 15 years. Minimal.
Right.
And remember, rents go up. Even though this is what it costs you, the rents go up. So over the, in 5 years from now, it's no longer 8%. You're looking at 13, 14, 15%. 10 years from now, you're looking at 30, 40% return.
Well, it depends on his finances, Dan. What type of financing?
And also the time it takes for me to either sell the home or get somebody in there. So that's what I'm looking at. The area, I'm in a rural area, so it's kind of harder to get people to rent in those areas.
Then
again,
the
market's kind of cooled off down here as far as buying.
So then why are you there? Why do you want to buy something
that's
going to take you longer to sell?
Right. Well, I mean, that's why I passed on it. That's just an example. I just passed on that one.
Okay, I got it. That's cool.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what. So, and I'm glad you all said that, because I kind of felt like, am I missing a good deal? But my gut was telling me no. It was telling me I wasn't missing a good deal. It was going to be more trouble than it was worth.
Chris, how many times has our gut saved us?
Oh my God, go with your gut, Tim. I think Tim knows that though. The way you talking, I can already tell you know the deal. All right, Tim. Anything else?
Yeah. Okay. Thank you, guys.
Good talking to you, buddy.
Good night.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Your gut was.
So we got 31 people on here. Give us a call. We are here to serve you right now. We are here to educate you. We are here to serve you with our experience. I'm going to tell you straight up, Chris, I'm not going to speak on Chris's behalf. On my behalf, I am not the smartest guy. You could ask any of my teachers. They'll all tell you I was in the bottom half of the class. Actually, I was, the bottom half of the class, I was on the bottom of that half of the class. Right? But so sometimes I may sound smart, but it's not. It's just all experience, right? Now, Chris, on the other hand, Chris was a smart kid in school.
I'm okay. You sound like one of those mob guys. Stay in school, kid. Don't do what we do. Dan is sick, y'all. You're right though. I was a band geek.
Yeah.
I was like, I had my I couldn't get a girl. The girls hated me and all this stuff. Dan's a cool kid. So everybody different. Opposites attract. And I want y'all to know me and Dan are in two different businesses. I was thinking about you the other day. I'm like, I don't want to do it, Dan. I don't want to show up and have to do repairs. That's not my thing.
Yeah, I be honest with you, I don't have a problem with it, but the truth of the matter is that as I get older, it's becoming more cumbersome.
And you got time to do it. And you have the time.
Yeah.
So that's why I would much rather just be the bank. And everybody's different, y'all. You don't got to do what I do. You don't got to do what Dan does. But you do have to do something. You
Got to find what works for you.
got to try, y'all. And you're going, huh?
Now I'm listening.
You're going to lose. Like Dan and I have lost hundreds of thousands. Dan's probably lost in the millions. I don't know. But my market's way smaller than Dan. I've lost mad money. Dan?
Thing is, I don't know any successful entrepreneur, no matter what business they're in, that has not lost money somewhere, somehow. But what I do know is that we always make more than we lose. That's number one.
You're talking about over time.
Over time. And number two, I've made so much money from the money I've lost. It's taught me so many valuable lessons. The hard part is that when you're going through it,
you don't see it.
Oh, you don't see it.
Oh, feel it.
But you don't feel that it's going to work for you. But the truth is, if you stay the course,
working on you,
and keep keep working on the mistakes you've made, basically learning from those mistakes, you'll be fine.
Myron Golden says, if you don't see the business working for you, it means it's working on you. Okay, but you got to be in there doing it. Like I look at Dan, he's like this chiseled real estate investor. Like you've been in the fire, in the blacksmith thing, getting banged on. So when you come out, I'm like, Dan can answer almost any question when it comes to certain things. You know, he can answer all this stuff. And Dan, I think when people look at us on the screen, dog, I want them to understand we are not here to showboat. This is the realest as it gets. I got 4 tenants not paying me. That's what we were talking about, Dan. I can't believe I got 4. I'm like, y'all gonna do this to me?
You know what? I've got to be honest. I've never experienced 4 tenants not paying me.
Me neither. I think something must be.
And the crazy part was, I remember in the beginning when a tenant wasn't paying me or I had to evict a tenant, I couldn't even sleep at night.
Yeah, I'd be stressed.
And the crazy part is that sometimes it's, even at times when I could afford not to get paid, I couldn't sleep because I felt like this person's using my kitchen, sleeping in my apartment, using my bathroom, my toilet, my shower, and he or she ain't paying me rent. I would be coming up with all these diabolical ideas in the middle of the night, bro. You're like,
dude, I would just show up at the house, knocking on the door.
Oh, but now it's like it's part of the business.
Just part of the business, y'all. It's part of the business. And I'm saying I can laugh at it now because I'm like, I got 6. What is that? 15. That's 4 times 15. That's $6,000 that I'm losing this month. And obviously, I'm gonna try to go get it. But I'm like, worrying, staying up at night, it is not going to help me. It's just not going to help me.
It is, but so, and hence the reason, like the people that come to my mentorship class, when you do your numbers, you calculate that possibility into your numbers.
Yep.
And if you don't, you're being irresponsible.
But I want everybody to understand, I can, and I'm not any better, worse, right or wrong, here or there. I can kind of absorb some of this stuff because, as Dan always says, we have paid extra on our principal for so many years. We paid the house off, so I don't have a mortgage people jamming me in my neck. Hold up, I got 5. I got a subject to house. Damn, I forgot. You know what? This is the first time this one. I got to tell you, this subject.
You know what, Chris?
What?
It sounds to me like you need to set up a one-on-one consultation with Dan Borrero.
What I will say, you know what? I'm not even gonna say that it might be half. But this is the first time. Dude, I tell you, it's got to be 5 years that I've had this many people not pay.
Yeah, I've never had 4 or 5 people not paying me at the same time.
Like, what is going on? I think it has something to do with people wanting to travel and pay me late. I'm sure they're gonna pay. I'm sure they're gonna pay.
Chris, you need to get on that horn and
you think I should call them?
Oh yeah, they would have gotten by now at least 3 different text messages. They would have gotten at least 4 emails. they would have gotten. Actually, they would have gotten a phone call. Well, maybe tomorrow they'll get the phone call.
Okay. What about it? I could see some type of communication, but I would do it. I would do a text. So usually, what we do, we let them know before we file the paperwork that today, if you have an additional, I just want to remind them now you have to pay court filing fees after the day. Friendly reminder. That's all I do. I mean, I don't like talking to people that only know.
I don't even want to get that far. So I see, because in New York, it's always best in my experience to show the court how many attempts you made to communicate with them. How many
In
attempts?
the city, in New York.
Now, well, even in like Florida, New Jersey, when I can
Why
say,
does it matter? You sent the 5-day notice. Why does that matter?
because it shows the court that you did everything possible before coming to court.
But the only thing you have to do is send the notice, though, right?
That's the only thing you have. The only thing you have to do is send them the notices. But I do extra, so I could say, "There's nothing I did. I did everything possible."
I had to remind them several times that they owe me $2,000.
I did everything possible, but again, everything's automated. There's a machine in place.
Yeah. Miss Jackson, another one of our ultimate landlord warriors. You're down in Georgia. Yo, what's up? How you doing?
Jackson.
She didn't left the city and went down south.
So guys, come on, we're gonna take another call.
And we get out of here.
757-204-1332. Give us a call. We're here to serve you.
Oh yeah, if you haven't registered right, make sure you join our waiting list. It's in the video description below for our next Ultimate Landlord Survival Guide training. 4 weeks after you get out of that thing, you will have the tools. Not to say that you'll never have a bad tenant or you won't have 4, 5. I forgot about that one in Virginia Beach. Well, this one I took subject to, right? The payment's $1,000 and the guy pays $1,650. So we make $650 on that, but it's not in my credit. And then
Chris, I'm looking at the screen right now. I don't see
what?
they could join the mentorship class.
You got to refresh your screen.
Rather, where they could join the
Wait list.
Landlord Survival Guide.
You got to refresh your screen, Dan. You probably joined before I added it.
Okay.
Cash flowings. The foreclosure repo, man. I don't want to do it. I'm too nice of a guy, man. I'm telling you, my mentor, I'll never forget, I evicted people. Dan, I had a mentor, a friend of mine turned mentor. This dude was evicting people every week. He was such a nice guy. He was making money from another business. He would let them stay and stay and stay. And you just can't do that, y'all. I have learned you must stay on top of these people. They will destroy you because here's what a lot of landlords think. I got the money to cover it. Man, I got the money to cover it.
I put up notes. If you are not evicting a tenant that's not paying you, you're not a landlord. You're a hostage.
Yeah. Dan, it is the 14th. Yeah, all my notices have gone out. Yeah, I can go and prepare that stuff. Wayland Enterprises. How do we feel about tiny homes? I don't have any experience.
Tiny homes is fine. I mean, I don't care if it's a tiny home, large home, multifamily, single family, manufacturing property, commercial property, condos. As long as the numbers make sense, who cares?
No matter.
Someone called in, Chris?
Yeah, I'm sorry. I just got an email from the guy at my house at Virginia Beach. I'm gonna read it. He just
Let's bring on this person who called in.
Caller. Thank you for calling in.
Hey, can you hear me?
Yeah, state your name and where you're calling from.
Leo Williams calling in from Texas.
Leo?
Yes, sir.
How are you,
Leo from Texas? What up, Leo? How you doing, boss man?
Man, doing well. Been watching you guys, and I'm totally new to this. And the question to you guys is,
hold up, let's stay there. You do it again. We're gonna love on your dog. It's okay. Okay.
Okay.
All right, go.
If you had to hit the start over button and here is 2025, what would you do and how would begin your journey?
Oh my God. Oh shit. Do we have to do real estate all over? Oh God.
Yeah.
Dan, I let Dan start. E Bellamy, what up?
So, it's funny. If I had to start all over again, assuming I didn't know nothing, I would seek knowledge. I would look to get mentorship. And not one-on-one mentorship. When you're first starting off, what you should be doing is gathering the information. I do a free mentorship class every Wednesday. Come to that. Go to Kris Haskins' YouTube channel. My gosh, there's so much information there in his channel in itself that it's covering everything as well. Then based on you then informing yourself, you'll be in a position to decide what part of the business you want to come in on, right? So just like if you went to medical school later on, you're going to have to specialize. Then you're going to be an internist, you're going to be a podiatrist, you're going to be a surgeon, ophthalmologist, whatever that is. But you don't know what that is until you go through the learning process, right? The basics. And at that point, then I would start paying for mentorship classes.
That's
because
a good point.
At that point you need somebody who's not only specializing in that, but that is successful. But you need to be careful who you're paying, because if you're going to be just getting a class and not getting any follow-up or additional help when you have a question, here's a book, here's a video,
You're done.
you're
That's
done.
it.
It's not going to help you when you want to
Change
spend.
it too fast. It's changing too fast.
Yeah, everything's changing way too fast because of technology.
Yeah.
But for right now, I would put yourself in the gathering information before you start investing.
That's a good point, Dan. Leo, I don't necessarily. Can we talk about what I wouldn't do? I want to start there.
You wouldn't start there.
No, I'm saying I want to talk about what I would not do, as opposed to everybody wants to know, what would you do? What would you do? I want you to know that I would not go out there and buy a rental property with highly leveraged and having cash flow. I just think that is just, Dan,
I agree.
I see people still teaching this shit. I'm like, this shit doesn't work. It might work for a year or two or 3 or 4 or 5. The only way you can really tell if something works is through time. Were you a good parent? I don't know. Let's see how the kids do. You don't really know this stuff until later. So, Leo, I hope that we've been able to help you. Does that help at all?
Yeah, listen, I'll tell you how I got started or wanted to get started. For the last year, I've been a mobile notary.
Sweet.
And I quickly realized with access to the papers, I realized I'm on the wrong side of the paper. So,
hold on,
I need to change my strategy up.
You were just in the middle of the table. Oh, you was watching the sellers.
Yes, watching the sellers, or I guess people say you buy it, you make your money when you buy it. So I'm watching the deals, and I'm going back and looking at the price versus the listing price or off market price of what they were paying. I'm like, okay, here's the money that's being here. I'm on the wrong side.
I love that you have been doing it. You know what's weird, dude? I don't know what it is about my community. We just do not ask enough questions. And I'm so glad that you took the time to say, what do they buy it for? Let's go back and look at this. How did they do this? This is the craziest thing. I finally my daughter brought some friends over the other day. Out of all the kids, one parent walked in and wants to know, who are you? They want to know, how did I get in this neighborhood, right? And I'm not saying I'm not big, no flex. But if I were to come over a house like that, I would know who the hell, just like you said, how did they do this? How did they do this? You were right. You were asking the right questions, dog. That's when I met Dan Borrero. I'm like, who is this guy flying from New York? I need to know this guy. Right? I need to know this guy. So you asking the right questions, dog. But don't go out there and get into debt starting off and for little cash flow and don't know how to manage properties, man. But you're increasing your cash flow by being a mobile notary, which is great. I love that business. It's free money. You go to your phone, you look for the job, and you show up, right?
That's it.
I don't know why more people don't do it. They could do one a day.
Hey, you know what? I love when it's funny if you came
That's
to
a
my
hustle.
house to do a mobile notary, I'd be asking you a ton of questions.
Yeah.
And my wife, she gets upset. She's like, and I can't believe these people actually answer you.
And do you know why, Dad? Because nobody ever asked them shit.
I'm like, how do you become a notary? What do you make? So if I just paid 150, how much of that do you make? And I'm like, you know what? So I did you what do you mean? You only made 50? No problem. Because they job it out sometimes. And I'll say, I'll pay you 75. Let me get your number next time you come. I'll call you
You
directly.
just made $75 per joint.
Yeah. So he's making $25 more, and I'm saving $65 next time.
Leo, we gone, man. Talk to you soon.
But it's
Hey, I appreciate y'all. Thank you so much.
All right, peace. We got
I love, Leo's do something that's
Mike.
not traditional, right? I had a leak in my pool.
One second, caller.
Guy comes over, he tells me over the phone straight up from the beginning. He says, first hour is $5.99. If I don't find it in the first hour, it's $2.50 for every hour after. I said, no problem, right? He came over and found it like this. They put this box in the water. It sends out like sonar.
Wow.
And they one guy's listening, the other guy's already getting ready to go in the pool with his swimsuit and his oxygen and everything. And within like 10 minutes, they knew exactly where it was. And 30 minutes later, they were packing out the door, and they made $600. I said, bro, damn. I was like, let me ask you a question.
We got another caller.
How many are you doing today?
What did he say?
He says, we got 6. That's 3,600.
Wow. Caller, you're on the line with Chris and Dan. Please state your name and where you're calling from.
Hey, it's Mike again from Philly.
Yo, I like this guy. I like Mike from Philly. You the real deal, dog.
Yo,
Mike's the real deal.
Like every time you guys get on, it's like everything. It's so good to talk to you guys because we come from an age of dinosaurs, and a lot of the people out here, they don't like we came from a time. Tell people this. We came from a time where, like early 2000s, like maybe around 2000, I bought my first property.
Wow.
You could buy property sub 100 and get equity out of them over years. So 25 years later, you got good equity. Mm-hmm. Like Chris was saying, I wouldn't go and be $250,000 in debt to make $200 or $300 nowadays. It just doesn't make sense. Then these are so many different nuggets you guys keep throwing out. And I think sometimes it's hard for the younger people or the people being new in the game to pick up because there's too many of them. Like the reason why we ask questions is because we're entrepreneurs. I always try to tell people we have to go out, we have to make money where there is no money. So I can't afford to be stupid or stubbornly stupid. So when I say that, what I mean is there's a difference between a worker brain and an entrepreneurial brain. A worker brain is the person that gets told what to do. They go out, you tell them what to do, they go do it. An entrepreneur, they have to ask questions. They have to know what that is. And like Dan was saying earlier, there's levels. How tiny. I know Dan don't give a damn what it is. It's like, yo, if the numbers work, the numbers work. But that's what the new guy that's coming in is like, yo, I want to get so many of these tiny homes and I can do, and there's so many grandiose ideas. I tell people, I said, stop worrying about making $1 million. Worry about making a profit at the end of the year. Stop overdoing this stuff. And
are you making a profit? Before you hold up, let's just start here. Are you making a profit, dog? I mean,
yeah. Or if you're not making a profit, is the write-off worth it at the end of the year?
Wow.
Like there has to be some benefit you're doing when you do this. It can't be a hobby. And every time I listen to you guys, I'm like, you're dropping too many nuggets. And it's like, yo, I gotta say something. Because it's like, yo, it's like you giving them too much. Like Dan was saying earlier, like when I used to deal with the courts, I'm giving as many notices as I can because the courts like to see that. They want to know that you did all you can because the courts see the tenant as defenseless. In any state you go to, see them as defenseless when it's
That's
residential.
true.
When it's commercial, it's the business, they don't care. But when it's a residential tenant, they see them as defenseless. So you want to be able to say, I covered all my bases. I don't want to really kick them out, but I've exhausted all my options and my opportunities to be able to make them whole. Can you negotiate with us? That's what you have to show the court. Court look at you in a favorable light when you gave them 3 notices. They didn't respond to any of them. Boom, boom. We see what their temperament is. We see what yours is. And let's just see if we can rule equitably and fairly. So it's just like, I know a lot of people, it's kind of like my buddy said to me one time. He's like, yo, he said, he said, you're giving me too much at one time. He says, like you're throwing 20 elephants at me. It's like, but when I listen to you guys, sometimes it's harder for the newer people to get it because you're on such a different level. It's like you've passed. I mean, you're so far out there. I saw 10 nuggets that I know was missed by everybody. It's like, yo, it's just like all these nuggets that you guys keep dropping because you've been in the game for years. Like Dan, with the whole, I don't care what property it is. If the numbers work, then the numbers work. That's it. Don't go out and $500,000. Somebody said, well, I'm what did the young guy say to me? He said, well, there's good debt and bad debt. I said, what? I said, what's good debt? Good debt is when I said, yeah. I said, okay.
What did he say? What did he say? Mike, what did he say?
He said good debt was when you make money off your debt. I said, yeah. I said, okay, so I'm $500,000 in debt, right? It's paying me $3,000 of that money. $2,600 of it is my loan and my property tax and whatever else, my insurance. I said, at the end of the day, I'm holding a $500,000 liability to probably pull back $700. That's good debt. I'm sweating bullets hoping the economy doesn't move against my direction. Every day, hoping that person doesn't lose their job. So I know my time is running, but I just wanted to give you guys a salute. There's too many nuggets coming across. People listen to these nuggets. The guys is giving them up. And Chris, last one. Tell Dan ain't there. Tell him if he loves you, he'd tell you to wax your shoulders before you put that tank top on. So, he don't love you. Enjoy the weekend. Too.
Thank you, brother.
Hey, y'all.
That was cool. Dan, that dude's a real deal.
He is. He knows his stuff.
Real deal. I ain't gonna bullshit.
Yeah.
You know what's real? What's weird? Real recognizes real. And when I hear you, when me and Dan, I'm telling you, we met, it was like, boom. Like, this dude's a real deal, right? Because big cats, there's a book I'm reading, The 92 Ways to Talk to Anybody. Big cats, when we meet, never toot our own horns.
No.
Never. You know what's weird? I love it when I meet somebody. Well, I know. I'm like, okay.
You know, I was at a conference back in just like 2 years ago, and this dude comes up to me, young dude, and comes up and he's telling me how, he's making $30,000 a month, and he's got like over 100 doors, and I'm like, bro, you're doing great.
That is good. That is pretty good.
So he walks away. My brother looks at me and goes, why'd you tell him he was doing great? I said, because his mind wasn't ready to hear the truth.
You're wasting time talking to that fool.
Right. So, and people right now on this, we got, 44 people on here. And they're probably saying, but Dan, $30,000 a month is great. It is. But you got over 100 headaches. Each one of those doors is another liability. Another person you got to talk to. Another unit you got to manage.
Another kitchen, another bathroom, another floor.
Another possible leak, another possible everything. So what I try to tell people is stop counting doors and let's talk about quality versus quantity. So, I got one building with 2 storefronts and 4 apartments in Park Slope that make me more than $30,000 a month. So who's making more money? Just one of my buildings does that. right? Who's making more money? So he's got over 100 headaches to make that 30 grand a month, and I've only got 6 to make the same amount. It's not about the doors, right? Now, do I have a lot more doors than 6? Absolutely, I do. But I'm talking about in comparison to his 30,000 a month. It's not all about the amount of doors. It's about the quality of doors.
That's so true, Dan. And not only quality of doors, the quality of the people. Like, I don't even think we don't, unless you come to the ultimate landlord, you don't even rank the quality of tenant that goes in the property. It's not even on your mind. Everybody's worried about the real estate. And I'm like, forget the real estate, dude. The real estate is going to be there whether someone lives there or not. Tell me about the asset that's going to be living in there.
Yeah. So let's put it in terms of what people could understand. The car, which is the building, is worthless without the engine. The engine is the tenant. That's what drives profits.
So glad you're saying that.
So it's the quality of tenant, guys, and that's what we teach on how to find that quality tenant, how to manage that tenant, how to make sure that tenant's not managing you, how to make sure that you're not how to make sure that you increase your tenant satisfaction, which would decrease your tenant turnover rate, because the higher your turnover rate, the less profit you have, right? So and then how do you keep that tenant happy? How do you maintain that building? How does preventive maintenance work? What is preventive maintenance? What should you be doing during what seasons of the year on preventive maintenance? How does that save you money? How does that increase your tenant satisfaction, decreasing your tenant turnover? We teach all this. So, the links below, please join us.
Sweet. Oh, okay. You know what? Y'all, I don't even know the guy. Okay, so I did email one of my tenants. I just let them know. Okay, so they did. I missed the email. I'm going to read it to y'all. So I sent a thing here. They said, I apologize for the late payment. Section 8 has changed in my account, and I will receive payment on the 15th of this month. Okay, so they let me know. I will be paying you immediately after that with the late fee. Sorry for your inconvenience. Okay, cool. That's all right.
That's a cool response.
You know what, dude? Let me ask you, Dan. I don't even care if you're late. It's irrelevant. I mean, I care, but I'm like, man, it's going to happen. If you just tell me, look, I got this, and this going on, I'm cool. Just let me know. Dan, what is your opinion on that?
I don't have a problem with if it happens once.
Once, you've been with me for years. I can't expect you to be late one time the whole time. I mean, I'm just
right,
saying.
But I mean, even once a year, it agitates the hell out of me. I'm not gonna lie to you. But when it's bad, you know what? I'll give you an example. Got a commercial tenant. Every month he's paying me late. Every month, and he'll call me and tell me, "Hey, I got this. Hey, I got that." I don't even have to call him. He'll actually sometimes call me before the first of the month and tell me he's not going to pay me until the 10th.
So he's letting you know,
right? But it's every month.
Yeah, that's a little
lease is up. So now his late fee is $150. So when his lease is up, it's coming up, and it was coming up in about 7 months. I sent him the renewal letter.
Mm-hmm.
So instead of he went from $3,000 a month to $3,650 a month.
Dad, I don't know, man. That's a little rough, dog.
This is New York.
$650.
So he calls me up and he says, "Dan."
Oh no, let me calculate that. What's 6 times 10 is 6,500.
You want to know what it is? Let's just figure it out. My calculator right here.
Dan, who here in the Roundup family? Y'all be honest. We still love you. Do y'all think Dan is a little bit overreaching, raising the rent $650 a month? Let me know in the chat. Go, Dan.
So it's 21%, 21.6%.
Where's that new mayor, man? Where's that mayor?
So he turns around. This is commercial tenant, guys, not residential. So he turns around. Can we talk about this increase? Sure. What would you like to talk about? Man, you've never given. Now he's been there about 20 years.
20, and you gonna raise the rent on me $650?
Oh yeah. So he says to me,
That way, Joe.
never given me this much of a raise. So I said, well, you've never gone 3 years in a row constantly late every month. He goes, yeah, but I paid a late fee. I said, bro, I'm not in the business of collecting late fee. I'm in the business of collecting rent. So I was only going to give you a $500 increase, but since you're so accustomed to paying that other $150, I know you could afford that.
You told him that, dog.
I said, I'm just doing what you conditioned me to do. Now he's signing the lease, but you know it's funny, bro. He told me he's signing the lease. I sent him out the lease to sign. It's been 2 months since we had that count. This is the first time in over 2 or 3 years he hasn't been late once in the last 2 months.
Sound like you did some training. You got two options in this business, y'all. It's only two.
Just two.
Dan, you give it to him.
Either you train, either you manage your tenants, or you will be managed by your tenants. Someone's getting managed. Decide what side of the management you want to be on.
There, I say train. Either you can get trained. I say train. They're gonna train you, or you go. Because I promise you, I have been trained the shit out of. Like when y'all see me, I'm real nice and laid back, but y'all have no idea how the fools train. You know, I'm so laid back, man. They train me good. So, woo, Dan's mean.
I'm not mean. I'm just telling the truth. Somebody's asking, why do you choose to flip properties instead of holding them as rentals? ?
We both do both. I mean, what do you mean? We're both.
The reality is that flipping properties provides me the quick cash flow that I need, so I could dump it into a long-term hold property, right? So that flipping of the property, 2 or 3 of those, gives me a 30-40% down payment for a property that I'm going to do long-term holds. Now, remember, here in New York or New Jersey, we ain't buying property at $100,000. These are, upwards of almost $1 million or sometimes more. So we need to come in with $400,000 or $500,000 just between our down payments and our closing costs. Now, that's the way I do it. Some people do it with a lot less money down, but I want to lessen my risk, right? So we take our monies from our fix and flips, pay Uncle Sam their pound of flesh. They always get their money.
30% minimum. 30% minimum.
And then we take the difference and put it into an account. And then when it accumulates, we then take that money and then go and buy something for long term.
What up, Fred? Fred, listen, we got the Hammonds here too. Another ultimate landlord warrior couple here. Dan, as we get out of here, can you just talk about how the goal, and I'm talking about investing here. I'm talking about not necessarily wholesaling or fixing, flipping, but just the whole art of acquisition, the sport of acquisition and finance. Talk to them just a little bit about why it's not always best to have 100% financing. Everybody is on this shit like, I didn't put no money in. I got 3%. And I'm like, go there.
My experience, the people that I find are the most affected when the economy takes a turn are the people that came in with the least amount of money as a down payment. Those are the first people to lose their property. And again, based on my experience watching the market,
based on being in this shit forever, I mean, you can say that too.
I've seen some serious market changes, and in my experience, the people that get hit first or weeded out first are the people that came in with, nothing down. But the people that got hit the most. This was another thing. I remember people coming to me were like, "Yeah, we're doing this with an FHA loan. We're putting 3% down, and we want you to pay $8,000 towards our closing costs."
They're asking you to pay it,
right?
Basically, they're borrowing it, but you got to pay it.
So I'm saying, let me see if I got this right. The property's $200,000. which means you're only coming in with 6,000. Your closing costs are about 7. You want me to pay 8,000 of your 7, right? So leaving you another 1,000 overage. So you're gonna get a brand new house for $5,000. So now my argument is this: you buying a $200,000 condo, let's say, right? You 40 years old and all you got is $5,000.
Mm.
You're gonna lose this property because you haven't developed the skill sets to manage.
Mm.
You don't have an understanding of money because some of these people 30, 40 years old. You're 40 years old, and you don't, and all you got is all you got enough is $6,000 to get into this deal.
That's rough.
What you gonna do when your boiler breaks, or your AC breaks, or your water heater breaks, or you need to buy new appliances,
Put on a credit card,
or when your HOAs goes up, or your taxes go up? They, like all these programs out here are setting them up to fail.
Yeah, they are, Dan.
You're being set up to fail, people.
So, especially now, Dan, I could see 100% financing 15 years ago when the prices were lower, but now we're talking.
This was even then, in my opinion. Now,
I'm not saying. I'm just saying it's excusable sometimes back then. I'm not saying to still do it though.
Yeah, but let's flip the coin on this. Now, if you come to me and you say, "Yo, I'm getting a loan for 3.5%, and I'm coming in with only 3%, and they're giving me the money," and then I'm like, "Don't you have any savings?" "Yeah, I got $100,000. I'm putting it into the market." That's a different argument because if your loan is only 3.5%, and you can put it into an Index 500, a VOO fund, Index 500 with Vanguard BOO fund, making averaging 8 to 10% a year, 12%, that makes sense to me. But if you don't have any money, all you got is $6,000 to put into this deal, you don't deserve to own a house. You haven't earned the right to own a property because you haven't learned how to manage money.
That's deep, Dan. Ooh, I got some other stuff I want to talk to you about, but we'll save it. I don't think we will be going live next week in New York unless you're going to have a location for us to go in, Dan.
We could try. We'll talk about it.
Yeah, or maybe I should probably.
No, that's Sunday. I'm going to be my father's birthday. Remember?
So we
have to change the date.
That's right. So we won't see you guys next week, but I'm in this high level mastermind. I got to leave y'all with this. Remember, Dan, we talked about this in the office hours last week for our ultimate real estate investors. I'm in a mastermind with a guy by the name of Eddie Speed. I'm going to try to get him on the channel too, y'all. The guy's done 50,000 deals, right? I mean, he's like another Dan Borrero, and he spoke at this mastermind. I'm paying a ridiculous amount to be in it, right? He goes, guys, I've been doing this business. I've done 50,000 loan. He's a loan guy, a note guy. He goes, this is the first time in my career that I've seen the lenders are making more money than the investors. And I'm talking about the guys in this room are doing, all of them doing 7 figures, right? Plus. And I really had to sit back and look at myself and just make sure I give y'all the information. Dan, could you just comment on that?
Is he a hard money lender?
He's hard money. He buys bad loans. He buys tapes, all the above.
Hard money lenders, I remember when I started, they were taking home more money than I was.
So this is okay. So in the hard money side, that's been going on.
Yeah. On the conventional side, no. But if that's happening on the conventional side, then these investors that are doing these deals don't know what they're doing.
They're not making money, Dan. I pray that the
wheels.
The people watching this, Dan, when I see people, dog, I got so much empathy, and you do too. You might be mean sometimes, but you really care about the people. Dan really does love y'all. I gotta give him. He shows it a different way. But when Dan and I talk offline, a lot of stuff we can't even say here. A lot of these people, they ain't making no money, though. Dan says some people are into real estate for the prestige of owning property. I'm like, what the fuck? What does that even mean? I don't even understand. What does that even mean?
I see people buying in New York with the numbers they're paying, and I calculate the return.
Mm-hmm.
I got a guy a realtor sends me this property, and he says you could make an 8% cap on this. I said, show me, because I don't see it.
Mm.
He goes, well, after you get rid of the 4 bad tenants, and then after you get it up to market rate, and after you renovate it, you 8%. So I said,
that's going to take me 2 years.
I said, so let me see if I got this right. You want me to buy the property at the price it's going to be worth after I do the work to get it up there? He says, well, I don't look at it that way. I said, well, tell me how you look at it. He goes, well, I'm selling you the opportunity. I said, his name is John. I said, John, let me tell you something. And
I'm selling you, hold up. I'm selling you the opportunity to go out there and work.
Right. So, and let me tell you, this son of a bitch sells. Like,
really?
Oh, man. And when he puts his perspective together for that property, it's the best perspectives I've ever seen in my life. I mean,
like the joints I be doing with the
no. This guy's like, no, this is glossy. I mean, puts money into this. I mean, right? So I said, John, let me tell you something, bro. I said, I will never buy a property from you. I said, but the next time I'm going to sell one of my properties in New York, I'm going to let you sell it, because there's apparently a lot of fools out there. Because he's selling them a dream. He ain't selling them the property. He's selling them the dream.
Of what?
Of
the opportunity?
Property in this neighborhood. Yo, that's an expensive ass dream. So,
Dad, when I started, I wanted to be that guy. I own so-and-so because I have some property where I live. It's called the Town Center. Town Center. I'm like, you right. I got property. Now I'm like, man, how much does it make? Is it in the hood? Cool. How much is it making? I don't even care.
Don't care. Actually, it does matter, because
I'm talking generally speaking.
Yeah, Chris and I, we bought in the hood.
Oh yeah.
But when you buy in the hood, those are D-class properties.
But know what you're doing.
You're a social worker too. You ain't just a landlord. You're a social worker. And my days of being a social worker is gone.
Y'all can't tell Dan. Yeah, he's retired from social work. Listen, we see y'all, all of our VIP ultimate landlords, and Unleash will see you this Saturday. The links have been out to your email, the time, location. I look forward to seeing you. Dan, you too, Dan. I'll be there this Thursday, man. It's an honor to hang out with you.
Yeah.
We're gonna do content.
Let's talk. When you get in what time? Late evening? What?
Thursday evening? Oh yeah. We don't leave here. We leave. Yeah, it'll be Thursday. We're checking the hotel. I'll be ready on Friday.
Let's talk.
So we're gonna do some content with Dan. If you have some property in New York or the surrounding area, I would love to possibly meet you and do some content there with you and Dan. That'd be cool. Send us an email. Round up, share this information. We love you. We'll see you in 2 weeks. All right, peace.